a therapy session, dealing with pain and obsession. Why do we lie? Why do we try to hide everything until the day we die? Welcome back to Therapy Session. Today I'm here with Danon Hill, the amazing, talented young man. And thank you for your patience until I set up everything for my delay. I'm very sorry for that, but you know, we live in Berlin. Nothing is punctual, kinda.
No worries. Yeah, I thought DNA is a busy community. There might be something afterwards. Yeah,
true. But I think they postponed a few things. I'm really not up to plan, but yeah. So I'm happy that you made it.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, I was excited to invite you, but because you have so many talents that I just have perceived on the stage, but don't know much more about. You're very calm, always calm, collected. I don't know, maybe in the studio you just go mad.
No, sometimes maybe.
Yeah,
but
so tell me about yourself.
You're very calm as well.
I'm actually... people tell me I have a few different personalities, so that's why I made it so personal.
I haven't witnessed the other ones yet.
Maybe, yeah. So there are some crazy ones, but mostly positive. That's the good thing. Until someone really makes me mad, then I just go berserk.
Well, then maybe it's deserved.
Yeah, definitely. Besides of that, my mom always told me just keep it calm. This is the way you're gonna solve the issues. Otherwise, it will be complicated even more.
Yeah, that's my experience as well.
Right?
It's almost never a good outcome if you get too emotional, and
definitely
stay calm and rational.
Definitely,
and it'll be worth it.
You play multiple instruments.
Well, my main instrument is guitar.
Okay.
And I just do occasionally very amateurish other things, but not. Yeah, my main instrument is the guitar. Sometimes I play the bass for my own songs, but not very good, to be honest. And I recently bought a MIDI keyboard, and I'm doing some stuff on there. I can play a chord, but not much more.
So you're still in the learning process of new instruments. Or different
not
instruments?
Really. I realized it's I don't know. I don't need to actually.
It's just for trying, or just for the fun of it.
I would love to, but I know I don't have the motivation to keep it going, because I know how hard it is to get really good at something, and I'd rather put my energy into other things that are important now, and I can make up for these deficits in not being able to play the drums or the piano. There are other talented musicians I can go to and ask them and work with them together, and then I get a way better
result.
What's this?
I don't know. The weather's getting better, that's why they're coming out.
yeah, probably. And I get way better results when I work together with other people so they get their ideas into the project as well.
Yeah.
Rather than doing everything myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one more thing. I'm what is it called again? Autistic. When it comes to these things, I need them to be aligned.
Yeah, neurotic.
No, also
everything has to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I have that.
I have that in a little smaller
range. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that, and I try to keep it down a little. But at home, I have this. Everything has to be at its place and stuff.
You're like that too at home?
Yeah.
Because my wife sometimes goes crazy with me because I separate everything with little things, and sometimes I'm just looking online, the things are not available the way I imagine it, so I just start building it. I'm like, you know what? Let me just do it myself. And then I spent a week on building something for the shelves and adjusting it.
Real engineer and craftsman.
Yeah.
In that sense.
But I enjoy it though.
It's good, yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, if the music career doesn't work out or anything else, I'm just gonna open up a place where I have my tools and just like be in the woods and just
Yeah, cabin in the woods.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sounds good. Good alternative.
So I got to know you, I think at Agatha Hopfen, was it?
Yes.
The first time when you were like playing, you had your guitar and what is the thing called again?
Loop station.
Yeah, the loop station.
Yeah.
I always admire these people who can play it. It's really like just the brain connection, being on time and pressing and doing it is
Yeah.
must have been at the beginning maybe exhausting to learn it. Or how old were you when you started?
I started maybe 7 years ago. Yeah, about 7 years ago,
Okay.
right before I came to Berlin, and I knew I wanted to play. And my songs had solo parts in it, guitar solos, and you need chords in the background to play these solos. So I thought that's when I bought the loop station, and that's how I started. I just played 4 chords, and then I played the solo above it.
Okay.
And that was the main idea, the main reason, and then it developed from there on. Then I started to like get kick drum sounds with hitting the guitar or snare sounds, and I watched other people who do it and saw their techniques, and it just developed from there on. And yeah, I mean, when you see the end result now, it looks very complicated, but I got there step by step.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I need to learn all of this. It just became what it is. And yeah, it isn't even that much. So it isn't even that complicated.
And don't talk down on yourself. You put it just like, yeah, whatever. Like I know
it's
I
kind of a magic trick.
Yeah, okay.
You know, people see it and they're like, what is going on? But if you know it, you're like, oh, well, okay.
Of course, it's always like that,
But,
though. But keep the magic, though.
The magic will still be there because
Nice.
even if I say it's simple, people don't know what's going on.
Besides of that, there's you playing it, so there's your own thing in it, your own touch in it.
Yeah, but as you said, with the timing, yeah, that's the biggest thing you need to, especially for songs where there's like weird patterns or melodies, and yeah, it has to be really on time because then it's it repeats itself over and over, and if you have a mistake in there, it just doesn't sound good, and it doesn't.
The mistake will be in it.
Yeah, and I had that a few times. I mean, sometimes the audience doesn't recognize, but for yourself, it's just
brings you out of the balance, out of the rhythm.
Yeah, it's just you want to enjoy and give everything, and if you hear your mistake all the time, it's like, oh man,
because I have
better.
Sometimes this issue when I perform. Out of nowhere, some things come into my mind that are not even related to music. And then I just, like, my brain freezes and then, like, the lyrics are gone in that moment. So this happens to me sometimes. So I'm imagining myself doing the loop station and I would just probably mess it up at some point. I would be just like, okay, people, let's start over.
I have to be honest.
Yeah.
This loop station actually helps me to be a little more there and in the zone, because sometimes I don't know where I said it's simple. It's not as simple. You have to be very, and now I have to do this, and if you miss the point where you like
hit it,
adding another layer, and then you have to wait another 4 bars, and you might lose the momentum you got going. You know, you're building up on something, and now it should come, but you missed the point, and so you have to be very there and very concentrated, and this is it helps with concentration. And I sometimes witnessed myself when I'm playing only the guitar and nothing else, that my thoughts are wandering off. I'm just in autopilot playing, and then when I make a mistake, and then I'm back, and then I'm like you say, it's hard to get into where you were. So sometimes making something more difficult on stage is better to be more present and focused.
Definitely.
Weirdly.
Yeah, you have to adjust to the moment when you mess up.
And of course, there were many moments I needed to improvise and do something out of my mistakes. But
I always
it's
say,
a good
like,
practice.
as a guitar player, is always like easier to adjust to the moment when you mess up something, because you just keep playing the guitar. Like,
That's one thing I like about it as well. I think, I mean, recently I played with a band and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. But I always had the idea in my mind that if I mess up with the band, I need to get back into where they are.
Yeah.
And when I make a mistake with the loop station or something, I am just, okay,
By yourself,
I think,
yeah.
well, what do I do now? And then, okay, I'm just starting right here, or I just do this and that. I can be spontaneous and improvise. But I realized I still prefer the band. The band setup is yeah.
Nice.
It's
Yeah,
more fun to have this energy behind you.
I can imagine that. It's always different when you're with other people.
Yeah,
It's always like
they
that.
bring
Also,
so
when
much to the table.
yeah, exactly. When you're in the studio with other people, like, the energy is completely different.
Yeah,
Instead of being by yourself, like, when I do it, I'm mostly by myself, and when I do it with other people, like, much more energetic. At home, I'm much more quiet, and I'm whispering the things and doing the flow in my head, and while my wife is watching some TV, it's very. But when you're in the studio, everyone is like going with the beat, and is very.
yeah. It's you're very in the.
You get into the zone mode.
Yeah, in the zone. Yeah.
So I love that about it. So tell me about your personal life. Why are you so calm? I like
Why
that.
am I so calm?
Yeah.
That's a good
How did you
question.
grow up?
I grew up very, what do I say, wasn't very spectacular, but it was had a good childhood in a small village. Well, not that small.
Where is it?
In Bamberg.
Bamberg. Okay.
Bamberg, it's in the north of Bavaria.
Yeah.
And yeah, I grew there up. I went to school there, and I met my first musician friends there. Had my first band. Started playing guitar when I was 11 or 12, like really.
Wow. Nice.
And
you picked up the guitar yourself, or were you? No.
I have to thank my mother for keeping pushing, because I learned it. I took lessons way earlier when I was like maybe 8 or 9, but I didn't care about it at all.
Yeah.
I didn't practice, because the teacher didn't teach me songs I really liked. And so at some point when I was 11 or 12, a friend of mine came over who taught guitar himself and who played in a band as well, and who was very enthusiastic about guitar. And he gave me a program with which I could then finally learn songs I listened to, like Nirvana and stuff, which my teacher would never
play with you.
Once I asked him to do it, and he played it completely wrong. He said, yeah, you need to do this and this. And I knew that wasn't the way to do it. Okay. And it was just worthless. But after that, when I could play all these songs that I liked, I started to practice a lot. And shortly after, I got in a band with some friends. And we had a great time. It was very much fun. Played a few gigs as well. And yeah, that's basically like I said, not very spectacular, but
siblings?
I have 2 siblings. I have a sister who's 2 years younger and a brother who is 6 years younger.
Nice. So you're the oldest then?
I'm the oldest, yeah.
Okay. And it was always calm and peaceful at home?
Yeah, well, I mean, every family has their issues, but nothing really. There weren't.
I mean, just
nothing
like
serious.
Okay.
Nothing serious.
So
we got along pretty well.
Nice.
Well, I mean, when you're young, you fight with your siblings and stuff.
That's true.
And sometimes I was maybe. Yeah, because when you're the oldest, you're the strongest. So they had to suffer a little, but I mean, yeah, well.
There's the role of life,
man.
Definitely, yeah. So tell me about What Danon Hill? This is your real name, or is it a name that you
No.
came up with?
My real name is Daniel,
Okay.
and Danon Hill is the artist name, and it's basically short for Daniel on Melancholy Hill.
Okay.
It's a reference to a Gorillaz track.
Ah,
You know the
okay,
song
yeah.
On Melancholy
Yeah.
Hill?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I love that track. It's one of my favorites. And when I was thinking about a stage name, artist name, yeah, I just came up with it because there are other artists that referenced songs like the Rolling Stones. The name comes from Like a Rolling Stone, the Bob Dylan song. So somehow I thought about getting a reference in there. Then I came up with Daniel on Melancholy Hill, or short Danon Hill, and then I liked how it looked. When you
Yeah.
write it down, I just like the look of it. And then I said, well, I keep it. And
Nice.
afterwards I noticed it's really a bad name to tell people because nobody understands what it is. Everyone is like, yeah, Damon Hill. And
Why?
no, with an
What
N.
then? Is it so hard to understand?
People always write it wrong or don't know how to write it, or
I
they say
feel-
Damon.
Okay. I feel like this is mostly people who have like grown up with one language, maybe,
Maybe.
because
But
we had this conversation yesterday about how many languages we speak, and the more languages you speak, the better you will understand things and solve problems.
that's true for sure, I think. But I don't know if that's the reason why people get the name wrong. Because I had English people.
And next
saying
time you
it
just make a
wrong.
test. You just ask how many languages do you speak, and then
Yeah.
you just make it like like a test for
Then I
yourself.
blame it on this. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's when I heard your name the first time, it was obvious. It was Danon Hill. So
All right, nice
yeah.
one.
So don't
You're one
be
of the smart
discouraged.
ones. I'm so glad. Don't know why the others can't get it right. I mean,
Some people just don't listen right, man. So
yeah. Once I was at an open stage,
yeah.
and the guy, we write it down. I wrote the name down for him beforehand, and then I don't know if you know, there's this famous race car driver, Damon Hill.
Yeah, okay.
And he was like, now the next act is called like this, a very famous race car driver, then Damon Hill. And like, yeah, well, okay.
But I have the same issue with my name. Everyone is pronouncing it wrong. Everyone is saying that even when I write it down, even when I shorten it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I just shorten it to JR. So this is the most simplest thing. So, and people still put an A in between, even though there's none. Even when I
Okay.
shorten it, I'm like, it's JR. And then they're like, Jar? No.
Yeah, you have to be forgiving.
Yeah,
with the
definitely.
people.
So I got a lot of
They
names and
don't have the bad intention.
no, I just like, it's interesting. In my mind, I made a list of names that people came up with. So some people call me Jerry
Okay, yeah.
because Jear Perry, and then they said, yeah, just put them together.
Yeah,
So it's
that's what I thought.
Jerry.
Jerry, yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes people just tell people, just call me Jay.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah, you have to give them a simple alternative.
Exactly. So just call me Jay. Jay, yeah, like Jay, just Jay, just the letter J, just whatever. So I know this struggle, but I always laugh about these things. So a few times I've been introduced to the stage and was like Jar, and I had to laugh and came on stage and I corrected the name, but I think nearly more than a half of the people still didn't get it, so I just didn't bother.
Yeah, I from the beginning I don't expect anyone to get the name right. It's like
It's like,
It's
okay,
what it
just
is.
take it. So yeah, what is the genre of music that you do?
I ask that people also because I don't really know where I fit in.
Okay.
It's somewhat of a mix of maybe singer-songwriter, but also some alternative rock, maybe some indie rock in there as well. Maybe some just soft rock. It has this rock
Vibe.
vibe and ambience to it, but it's not, for many people it's not hard enough to call it rock.
Okay.
For them, rock has to be hard. And I use a acoustic guitar often for the rhythm guitar parts, so it's not that in your face. It's more like a calm rock thing.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I use the electric as well, but it depends on the song also. I mean, I have released recently. I released 2 songs that are really more into the rock, maybe indie rock direction, and other songs they're quieter. But in general, I would say it's alternative rock or indie rock.
Is it because of the music that you used to listen to as a child growing up? So the influences of all that may be coming together.
For sure, it's the influences, and also it's the only thing that I know how to do. Right now I'm trying a little bit with electronic stuff because I like to listen to a lot of electronic music, like deep house and techno and stuff, and I would like to merge it a little, but I don't have the skills. It's maybe I met some people I might be working with.
Okay.
And let's see, maybe something comes out of there. But in general, when I do everything on my own, it's rock. It's just, it's the language the musical language I speak, and I know how to express and bring my ideas to life. You know, sometimes when I have an idea for a more electronic or house vibe or something, I don't know how to implement it in my
in the genre of music.
Yeah, how to record or how to program it. But with rock, I know what I need to do now to get this transition or do it like this, and it's more familiar. And my musical journey started from the rock and metal side of things and indie rock stuff. Yeah.
You said a friend of yours gave you a program. Which program was it, and which program is it now?
I don't use any I don't learn guitar for it was Guitar Pro, the program, but I learned it because at that time I was playing all the songs I loved and so learning solos and stuff. But now I mean, sometimes I look up chords on Ultimate Guitar when I want to do a cover, but most of the time I'm playing my own songs or writing songs, so I don't have to learn from a program.
No, I mean, like,
you mean my DAW?
Yeah, exactly.
The program I'm recording with.
Yeah.
Is Logic.
Logic, okay. Mac user.
Yeah.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, it was the reason I bought a Mac because of GarageBand.
Okay.
And then I started off with that. And then, of course, it's easy to go over to Logic.
Definitely.
What do you use?
I use Cubase.
Yeah.
FL Studio. I used to have a Mac, and the Mac, like the graphic chip, after nearly 2 years, burned down. So I went to repair it, and they were like, "Oh, it's not that easy because it's like right on the motherboard, and if you want to change it, you would have to change the whole motherboard, and will cost you about 900." I was like,
weren't still the warranty?
Warranty?
On
No,
it?
the warranty was, I think what,
expired
after
1 day before.
week, one week before, and like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I was like, I would have to pay 900 for the graphics chips. It was like, no, it's also the motherboard. I was like, but this is like kind of ridiculous, right? Like Mac is trying to put everything in a tight space to make it as slim and nice, because I had like the iMac on the desk. I had one of those.
Yeah.
But they were like, yeah, they knew
after 2 years. That's not really good.
No. So, and before that, I was a Windows user, and I used to build my PCs, but people told me so often the Mac is much more stable because
Yeah, that's what I experienced actually.
yeah, which is true to a certain point, but like when it comes to also to security and so on is amazing, but if you wanna like add components to it is
Yeah.
limited. So anyways, I had that for 2 years, and then this happened, and the reason I also changed was because I was trying so many things and I had so many viruses on my PC always. So I was experimenting with programs, and it was that era when Pirate Bay came along. So I didn't even know like how many viruses are out there. I was just downloading stuff, and then my whole hard drive, I think 3 of my hard drives were like effed up after that. So they told me just get a Mac, which is much more safe. And for Mac, it was much more limited with the programs. And then I started to use GarageBand. And then this happened. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that again. And then I just started to build my own PCs from then on. And since then, I just do it like that. And I'm much more flexible with the Windows programs.
Yeah, you are. I think Mac is basically mostly for arts and artistic stuff, like graphic design or music production or movie production or something. But if you download like loads of stuff and pack the thing full with what do you say?
Programs.
Yeah, just files and everything. You might want to get put together one of your own.
Because the other thing was back then I was, I think, 16, 17, 18 at that time, and there weren't all the plugins and programs that I used to use on Windows for the Mac.
They weren't there.
No, not at that time. Like a few years later, then they came on the Mac because, of the system and the OS. And so I had to run what is it called again? It was called parallel desktop. So you had to have Windows inside of Mac to use. And when I was studying, we were using a graphics program. I studied fashion design, and then we had a graphics program which was only running on Windows. So for me to run it, I had to use this one. And there was another program, like I had 4 different programs from the school that was running on Windows, not on Mac. So maybe this was also a reason why the graphic chips like
Why
gave
did
up.
you even get a Mac? It sounds
Because
like
of the music.
yeah, all right.
So it was about, I had my Windows and I wanted to make a backup of it. And a friend of mine I wasn't so much into tech back then. I had a friend who was like, yeah, I'm going to take care of it. But he messed up like 2 of my hard drives where I wanted to have a backup of it, and all of my music was gone. So they told me, get a Mac, which is much more safe. This won't happen to you.
Okay.
So these were like the things why I got the Mac. And then but that was the only time. And one other time I got a MacBook, and the charging port, it just stopped working at some point.
Okay, wow.
I don't know.
I had really different experience. The first MacBook I got, I had it for 10 years.
Oh.
And it was still working pretty good, but the Bluetooth didn't work at some point, and I think it became a little slow. That's why the updates started to not be available anymore for Logic and stuff. And then I thought, now it's time. But it was still good. I was very sad to give it up and to let it go.
Yeah.
But I was so impressed. I used this thing for 10 years and it always did its job. It's
amazing.
Yeah, it was. And since that, of course, I'm all Mac. But I mean,
these were the stories that I heard about.
Experiences. So.
Because my brothers also, they use Macs. and
Yeah.
they have no issues. They always tell me it's something you do wrong. I'm like, maybe I don't know.
What problems I had before with the Windows laptops I got. I mean, after 2 years, basically they were trash. You for opening one window on the desktop, it took like 2 minutes or longer.
Yeah.
It was just a waste of time, basically, using these things. It was so frustrating, and so I was blown away when
So I'm like, maybe it's the energy. I'm more of a Windows type. I don't know, because everyone around me is using Macs. They have absolutely no problems. Maybe it's me. So I just
it's you.
maybe it's me. So I just left it at that. Okay. So what is the project that you're currently working on?
I'm currently working on new songs for just my next releases. We'll make a new album. I just released an album 2 weeks ago or something.
Congrats.
And thanks. And and after every album, I want to do something different. Before it was like minor changes. I found a new drummer. I started incorporating a little more piano and synth sounds for the last album than before, things like that. And now like I said, I'm experimenting with getting a little more electronic elements in there. Not sure yet if that works out. For the first song is already almost finished. This is very electronic. But I don't know if now I'm working on the second one and I have the feeling it's gonna be back into that rock direction. I just can't get the beat to fit with my songwriting somehow.
Okay.
But I'm still a process, still looking where I end up. I don't know yet. Completely.
Sometimes it's better to stick to the old things because that's what you're best at.
Maybe, but I also got help from some producers now and friends, and I think maybe with their expertise, I'm getting there somehow. But still, I noticed it's about the way you write songs. You know, the song I wrote, I realized it's 70 BPM.
Okay.
And you can't. It's very hard to make a electronic
on 70 BPM.
It's either like doom 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 doom, but it's a slow song, and then you have like doom doom, which is also not electronic. It's more halftime rock or something. Yeah, it's maybe I have to put the frame first on, like this is this BPM or this key or something, and then
right to it,
or do the instrumental first and then the lyrics and stuff. But the way I write songs is I sit down with a guitar, I strum something, and then I sing, and then I have the basic structure of the song. And from that point going into the production, sometimes you're limited to what really fits the song. But yeah, I'm really in the middle of that process right now. I'm trying out all this stuff, and I don't know where I will end up.
So
we will all be surprised.
Yeah. So your process is always sitting down with the guitar, writing, and then making the beat later to it.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Because I approach the way I feel the things. Like sometimes I'm walking and I have some flow in my head. And then I write things down, and sometimes I just want to listen to it, and then I come up with a flow, and then I record the flow, which is like nonsense, what I say, and then I just later put the words in. So maybe you could just approach it like this the next time, just let a beat run, and then...
Yeah, I'm not into that beat game, you know. I don't even know where to get beats. And
nice.
Okay. It's just not, like I said, I build up my songs from scratch basically, and that's how I like it. That's how I get my ideas out there.
Yeah.
And it's also characteristic of my music, I think. these certain melodies and something reoccurring melody changes, chord changes. I don't know if I just would pick some beat or something.
Well, it's not necessarily from outside. I mean, sometimes I do it like this. I sit down and
I would just make the instrumental.
Exactly.
I tried that a few times, but it's not
gonna work like
I felt the way I get the emotion and the passion into a song is the lyrics.
Okay.
It needs to be a topic that I'm really excited about or really emotional about or really fascinated. And that's often when I don't come up with a song idea, it's just because I don't have a good topic to write about.
Okay.
It's not, I can, and if I have a good topic, I'm pretty fast at getting chords and melodies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it needs to be that inspiring topic for me. It's really, because otherwise I tried it out getting instrumentals, recording instrumentals and stuff. And often I lose the enthusiasm about it.
Mm.
And the only thing I could pin it to was that there wasn't
The passion,
lyrics there that made my heart
beat for
connect to it or something.
Okay.
I don't know. It's strange, but that's what I witnessed.
It's really interesting.
But still, yeah, it's a good idea to approach it like that. And
I say everything that we do is an evolution of something that we have maybe started. So maybe you have never approached it like this.
Yes, yeah, that's it.
You're programmed to a certain way to do the things.
Definitely.
And you need to reprogram yourself in that sense to approach the project from this view. And if you do maybe 5 to 8 times, after that you'll be like, oh, you know what? From now on, let me just do it like this, because
yeah,
the emotion is different when you approach it like this.
You're completely right. And I am in a process where I want to try out new things, and I would love to do it like that. Maybe if I find another artist or connect with another artist which also likes my stuff and we can work on something together, I would love to, if they do the groundwork or the instrumental and I just put my lyrics on there or something, I would think that's a good practice. And also I would like to see what I do on other people's music and stuff. You know, it's I'm still at that point where I'm.
Then let's make a deal right now on the cam, like until it's out. Maybe after that we're gonna do something together. Then.
All right. Yeah? You're gonna make a beat.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the beat, and this is how I approached a few people around me. Like, I wanted the singing part, for example.
Yeah.
And I made the beat, wrote the lyrics. I even recorded like a demo of how I imagine it. But I told them, this is just my thing. Just put your salt and pepper in it. So, and then they did it.
Yeah.
And it sounded amazing. And like one of them was a cousin of mine who lives in London. But he's just the most amazing guy. Like for me to get in touch with him is like making an appointment with Obama or whatever. Like it's just so hard to get at him. So it was a surprise for me when I had the song written down and everything, song Love Letters, and I was thinking to myself, a singer on that would be so amazing. And I was contacting a few people. They sent me in a few demos and it wasn't the way I wanted it. And I was thinking to myself, like he could, like my cousin would, like just everyone would just want to listen to the hook line because it would be so amazing. And then my wife just said, just contact him. I was like, yeah, whatever. And then a few days went by, or a few weeks went by, and then I just did it. I just sent him, I was like, hey, are you open to do this? And then he was like, yeah, how do you want me to do it? I was so surprised about it. And another project was with a friend of mine who lives in Australia. He was here in Berlin for a visit, and this is how we got to know each other because I liked his music. And then he came to me, like, I was like, okay, I have the studio at home, just come over. And then we made a song instantly there. Like, I had the beat ready though. Like, I had some beats, some old beats, and then just picked out a few beats. And he was like, oh, I like this beat, I like this beat. I was like, okay, let's go with it. Then we wrote the lyrics and then just recorded. So
yeah, I envy a little this workflow of hip hop and rap artists.
just doing it.
It's just oh no, I don't like that. Oh well, that's might be. Oh, this one's good. Let's do this. You write the lyrics and record, and then off to the mixing engineer.
Kind of the same process. Probably you've never done it like this, but maybe if you do it once or twice, you would get into this feeling also.
Yeah, and there are also like indie artists or some pop artists that do it like that.
Yeah.
They're not just hip hop beats out there. There are all sorts of instrumentals. But
There's one other thing.
But I also like to create the musical side, so
definitely.
It's just
I can also imagine you as a conductor in a symphony, like when you say to create from bass, like you'll be just sitting there writing the notes. No, you play like this. No. So I could imagine you doing that.
I cannot write notes or anything like that.
In my imagination, you can. So
okay, yeah.
What I always wanted to ask you is, you have one of your songs where you have like the Eminem part in it.
Yeah.
Like, do you listen? You obviously then listen to rap.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, is it because it's one of your favorite parts, or how did it come to that?
I'm gonna get to that. I just want to say for the viewers who might not know this song, because I did not record it.
Really?
Yet. Yeah.
I thought it's already out though.
No, it was. I have to be honest. It is an old song.
Yeah.
There's a song I made on the loop station that has rap parts in it, and I played it a lot here in Berlin, and it was very well received. But I wrote it many years ago.
Okay.
And I never got at first I didn't have the idea how to produce it, because it was so different from what I normally did. And then, it just never happened. And so for everybody who knows my music from Spotify, this song is not on there.
Okay.
But it's a song, with where I'm rapping.
Yeah.
I need to do this one. Maybe I'm gonna get it soon.
Maybe you should rap more.
I think I could do it. I think
definitely.
I could do it.
I mean, you picked up an Eminem verse and you did it. So
and to that part, I got inspired by Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
Ironically, maybe you know his song. You don't need me. I don't need no. You don't need me. I don't need you. You need me, man. Or the other way around.
Probably when I listen to, because my wife listens to a lot of Ed Sheeran, but I don't know the name of the songs. But
you
sing
need
it.
me, man. I don't need you. You need me, man. I don't need you.
Okay, yeah.
That's how it. And he is a very long song with many parts, and he's rapping there as well.
Okay.
And also it's also a song with a lot going on with the loop station. And he at the end of the song, he has different rap parts as well. He does like in the club.
Okay.
On top of this instrumental, and he mixes all sorts of stuff in there. And that's when I created this song. I just wanted to do a high energetic, like it's a little bit of frustration in there, and get it out. And when I had the instrumental and the idea on the loop station, I noticed that this "Lose Yourself" verse it's a different topic. It's also about like just doing it and not caring how many obstacles will be in your way. Just so it the topic fit right in there, and the beat was ironically same pace.
Okay.
I don't know it. I just at home when I played it, I don't know why I tried out this verse. But of course, it's one. I thought it's also a good thing for the audience. Everybody knows it. You
We'll
can,
sing along or rap along.
yeah. And that's always very nice when I played it live. That was something that people,
Can
almost
attract you.
everybody knows, and you see them rap along and stuff. And yeah, I'm a big Eminem fan. Listened to him a lot in my youth, and yeah, that's how this somehow got in there.
Nice. Who else besides Eminem in the rap?
In the rap.
Yeah.
Right now they're not very well known.
Okay.
Not very well known artists. Like, oh, maybe they are well known. NF. Don't know if
Of
you know
course.
him. Yeah,
of course.
yeah. They're
They're
big
not-
on the internet, but I think in the pop scene or in
Yeah,
the media
this
they
is-
are not present.
of course
That's
not.
why I think they
Yeah.
are not very well known. But of course they have huge fan base. I like him a lot, or I like a local artist from my home village. He's called Young Vision. He's a
Okay.
German trap artist. Yeah, funny story. My Spotify Wrapped last year.
Yeah.
Most listened genre was German trap,
Okay.
and yeah, I listened to a little bit of Mako. You know Mako? It's
No.
German, pretty. Got pretty big in the last year or 2 years. Or also I like some female artists, rap artists.
Okay.
Very much like Eli Preis. She's from Vienna,
Okay.
German. But she also does. It's not only rap. It's also like little
Sing rap.
sing rap. Yeah, I don't know what genre this is.
Yeah.
Or Yu from Sixten. Well, they are not the big names you probably know, like Tupac and stuff. It's more like the newer
Like, I listen to a lot of underground rap because
German.
no, German not at all.
It's all German stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, listen to a lot of German rap, to be honest.
Okay.
And
Because
when I was a child, I listened to like 50 Cent and The Game a little bit,
Okay.
of course, too, but not like I wasn't like a big fan of the artists. It was more like I had a few songs of each of them that I really listened to a lot.
for me it's just kind of English music, or for my culture like the Kurdish music. But this sounds like for me like reggaeton with a different vibe. So this is where I have the influence of certain rhythms that I have in my songs, I guess. Because I was reflecting a
Yeah.
lot, like where do I have some of the things that I do? They don't really necessarily fit into the hip hop. They have something else to it, some other elements, and I think this is from our culture of music. It's just like dancing music. It's just like you just like vibe to it. So
Yeah,
one other question:
but it's good.
have you ever been depressed?
Not really.
That's what I thought. That's nice though.
It is nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have a very, what do I say, organized or like a calm mind. I have a
Yeah,
very
that's what I
calm
say.
mind.
Like
Well, I had a very hard time, which maybe you could call, but it was more like burnout or something. It was at the end of I studied industrial engineering
okay,
before I came to Berlin and pursued music, and I started it because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't think of being a musician at that point at my early 20s, and I just studied, but I didn't really like it. And the closer it got to the end where it was harder, and I really hated it, and especially the bachelor's degree when I had to write this essay or
yeah.
whatever it is called in English. Yeah, I had a really hard time getting that done. I wasn't into that. Like I'm a creative person. I like to do what I what comes to my mind, like being spontaneous and to have all those rules, how to write, how to get the references right, the sources, and all these. It was too much for me. It was really against my nature, and it was very, very. Yeah, it was a very stressful time to get this essay done, because there were also some trouble with the professor that occupied my this bachelor's work you write at the end.
Wow.
What's it called? The essay
Isn't
bachelor's.
it just
Yeah, well, no,
it doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. Yeah, I couldn't communicate with him. He always spoke like in riddles to me, and I was like, just tell me, give me a little hint or something. And then he was like a wizard. I had to decipher his. It was really bad. I hated it, and it was so much relief when I had gave that off, and I got a good note, good enough for me to leave that behind. But I couldn't say that I was depressed. I think depression is more like a hopeless state, and I'm a very hopeful person.
Nice.
Even if I know I'm going through shit, or there will be obstacles in the way, or there's only obstacles all the time, I'm always like, well, after that it's going to flow.
Great,
and then
great
I'm like,
mindset,
again after that, and I don't know what it is, and I'm very thankful that I have it. I have this endless enthusiasm and focus and passion.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is.
You have it from home, probably, like your parents.
Yeah, I often think about it. My father is a person who's always like, nothing's impossible and stuff. He always,
It's amazing.
when other people were like, yeah, you can't do or something, he was always like, how can you do it? Like, think about it. And often there's a solution. This was a very inspiring mindset he gave me. But I think it's a little bit of like a mindset that was given to me, but also like it has to be somehow in my nature, I think.
Definitely,
because it was very, sometimes I'm surprised myself at how carelessly I'm doing all this, you know. A few years ago when I came to Berlin, my plan was, I didn't plan on being where I am right now. I planned to make way bigger progress and live off the music by far now, but I'm still enjoying the process. It's always about, for me, it's always when I see that there's some sort of progress and I'm still having ideas what to do. I'm not like, I don't know anymore what to do, so I can call it quits. I'm always like, well, it didn't work like that, so now I do this, and it didn't work like that, so now I do this.
That's great, man. That's great.
Yeah, and I think why many people are probably depressed is why they are doing something they don't like. For me, I could never live a life where I worked a job I didn't like. I did that for a while and it was hell. So
what was the job?
It was the internship semester at my uni.
Okay.
And I worked on a construction site as in construction management, basically. So it was a good job. I had very nice people around me. It was many people would love to have that job, but I just I hated it. And I couldn't. That's when I realized I can't do this for life.
Yeah.
That was the moment I was like, I'm not made for this life, for the wearing a suit, being in the office every day. It's just not my nature. And yeah, at that point I also started trying out with the music and recording stuff, and then I got this second vision that there might be a path. And this is what keeps me happy and grounded and hopeful and energetic and full of passion, because I have this outlet, you know. It's
the creative.
If I wouldn't have that, I might be very depressed. I might be living a very depressed life.
Definitely.
So sometimes when I see people who are depressed, I'm I'm thinking, I have to be very thankful that I have a passion like that. Nah? You know, maybe they don't have a passion because maybe their parents didn't let them explore certain things or said you have to do this, and then they closed their mind off to something they might like to do. It's not that easy, and I think it's thing to be very thankful for.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's what I had, I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. The same, my thoughts also were, I used to work as a designer. I used to work as a event manager, and I couldn't do anything creative, especially for myself. And because of that is where I fell into depression then. Like it was a burnout, and then I just kept going, like forced. Like I was like, no, you have to, you think to yourself, you grow beyond that. No,
you grow into it and stuff. Yeah.
Now you just tell yourself, this is the process. You have to do this like that.
You tell yourself to do this, and at some point you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I heard this many times.
Yeah,
actually.
So I did it, and it didn't work out at all. So I got proper depressed, and I was just like, I'm done with it. So, and then I left it, and after that, there was a pour of creativity that came out of me. If it was like painting, the music, and creating and designing things, I was just at home for a year, didn't do anything besides just like creating things. And it was the most incredible year that I had for that time, and to make some of the ideas that I have come true.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone who's creative needs to do something with it. If you don't, you'll just like go down and don't do anything at all at some point.
It's like some part of you that needs to be expressed or needs to be let out, some energy. And if you just block it, it will
kill you.
It will like do damage inside
definitely.
you.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's I mean, some people look at artists or struggling artists and like, oh man, they must have a hard life. Maybe some do, but for me it's like it's a good thing. And the paradoxical thing also is, as an artist, like the hard times, they give you inspiration. Like you go through some shit and then you feel so bad, and when you overcame it and then you got like inspiration out of it, and then afterwards you're like, wow, I turned this into something nice.
Yeah, you created something out of it. It's true.
It's a good outlet to have. But
Definitely.
I think so. Some creative people, they need to do something like that, and it's not that easy, because often your surrounding, maybe family, maybe friends, they tell you don't do it because it's not a safe thing. It's very, you don't know what's gonna happen, and I think it's not that easy to just do this, because if yourself you're not confident, or you don't know if it's going to work. So you're going for the safe route, safe path, but that, I don't know if you will get happy that way. I think maybe you can find something in between. I'm doing a day job for like
and
30,
like a hobby on the side, doing the rest.
And I do the music like on the side.
Yeah.
I hope that it will at some point overtake the other thing.
But it won't, though. It won't.
I think it will.
No, I mean, like, I know people who have like a full-time job.
Yeah.
And they have something at home for the artistry to express themselves, and they like, I'm working on it, but their projects take years and years until they finish it, because they're busy with their everyday life to get the job done, to get this project right, to get this. So I've mentioned it before, one of my best friends who I started to make music with, he is in IT. And he left the music scene because he was like, I don't know, if it's going to be if it's going to work out.
Yeah.
So he left it, and he sold all the equipment and everything. And after a few years into his job, he was like, I need to make music again. So he bought everything again, which is in a smaller variety, but he did. And now he has the studio, but he's not using it at all because he doesn't have the time for it though.
Yeah. Some people just like the idea of being creative.
Yeah.
But when put in the spot, they are not. I don't know. It's not that easy. You can't. Everybody has to find their own like balance, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
Because some people, they like being creative, but they like more being safe and having money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So for them, it's probably best to have a normal job, but doing something on the side where they can express their thing. And others have a very strong urge to express themselves and get depressed when doing a normal job, so they need to get all their energy and stuff into making this art
Exactly.
project
Yeah.
come to life and flourish. Yeah, everybody has to stay true to their nature, I think, and but it's easier said than done.
Definitely.
I say this, that it's very hard.
Definitely.
It's not an easy.
Not everyone
easy
can
thing.
stick to the task then, or just go through with it. But
Yeah,
I love reading books, and there are so many books that is written. If you really want to do it, then just go for it.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
just leave it.
Yeah, I read a lot of those books as well, and they help a lot with motivation and confidence
Sticking
and
to
just
yeah.
the vision. If you get told many other people were in that place where you are right now, but they did this and this, and at some point it worked, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about things the same way as he does. Maybe I'm on something there. And yeah, which books were like very influential for you? Or
I'm
did
very honest. Like,
inspire?
I can send you the pictures later, but I forget always the names though.
Yeah, okay.
I love you, Mom, but I think I got that from you, because my mom is always like this. She forgets the name of the things, and then she's like, yeah, but it was written like this and this. I'm like, yeah, okay, Mom. So I got that from her, and I can send you a few pictures, and you can send me a few of yours, or you can name a few that you have in mind.
Yeah. I mean, one very well known is Think and Grow Rich by, I think, Napoleon Hill.
I have that book. See,
Yeah, it's a very.
when you name it, then I know, I can
It's
tell
one of
you.
the first in every list that goes to this self-development stuff. And
I have one that is called, I think, How to Make Money Out of Art.
oh, I didn't read that.
Yeah,
I need to read
it's-
it probably.
It's also very interesting. The cover is like with a lot of dollar signs.
Oh, okay.
It's really nice. I have to send you that. And one other thing that I love is the writer Charles Bukowski.
Yeah.
And the way he's writing, like, his life was kind of sad, but
yeah.
the way the things that he wrote was amazing. So
That's the
I took
artist,
yeah,
real artist life.
exactly. I took a lot from that, and of course, like a lot of from the Tupac books, and from The Art of War,
Yeah.
from Sun Tzu. Is it right?
No, Robert Greene. Or maybe Sun Tzu wrote
Yeah.
this as well. But
Yeah,
there's
he-
a book of from Robert Greene is called The Art of War.
The one that I read, yes, this one, and the Machiavelli book, and there's the
Now you know all of them.
yeah. Sometimes when someone kicks off something, that then the
yeah.
Rolling Stones, like, I mean, it will just when you kick
yeah,
the
yeah.
stone,
Yeah.
a roll, and there's the one. No, I forgot it. See, now my mind got stuck with Rolling Stones. But yeah, like these kind of books, and now I want this book now. It's not coming. Doesn't matter. It's about also like The art of attraction?
Law of attraction.
Law of attraction, yeah.
Okay.
Which is also interesting because of how you perceive other people and how you should perceive yourself. Like, is also, for me, is an interesting thing to, because sometimes when you go into a room, you feel like no one will even like, this is like from the mindset of a child. You feel like, or a 12-year-old or 14-year-old, you feel like, oh, no one is even gonna recognize me, which you don't even know how other people will look at you when you go into the room. But there's some people.
This is about expectation.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
If you think about it all the time, you also get your focus on who's not saying something.
Exactly, yeah,
maybe you just get your expectations lower, and you will be happy about everybody.
How is it for you to go into a room? What is your overall feeling about yourself?
I don't have any. I'm very neutral in that sense.
Okay.
I just depends on the room or the people I'm meeting. You know, if it's a full of strangers, I'm just there. I don't know what to expect. So I go in there and then I make myself an image of the situation, and then I choose if I want to interact or if I don't. Or I don't really know how to answer that.
My answer to that is similar to yours. And I sometimes when I go into a room and I feel like I don't want to disturb anyone, so
Yeah.
I just go in feeling the vibe, how is everything going, and at some point like interacting with the people when for me feels like the right time to do it. Because sometimes I feel like people are like involved into a conversation. I just don't want to pop in there and say, hey, what up? Like, if I know the people, this is what I do.
Yeah, I like that approach as well. I'm being very passive in the beginning, and then I look around, and sometimes you see people that are also very like don't talk to anybody, but look around and you're, oh, okay, maybe I can talk to them. They seem a bit lost as well. or just, I mean, in the art scene, you can always, it's very easy to get in contact because most of the time you see what they're doing and either you like it or you don't. And you can always go up to someone and say, hey, I really like what you do. And then you get into a conversation or not, whatever. But you can check your way where people are that you have a connection with or don't, and it's not a bad thing if you don't have a connection. That's probably what you were saying earlier, like this expectation that everybody has to recognize you or give you attention or something. Some people just don't care about what you do, and that's okay. Yeah. You have to really be. That's one of the earliest things I had to accept and accepted. I know my music isn't for everybody. My art, my vision, all my artistic expression. I think I'm very niche. I'm not made. Maybe I can move a little more into the mainstream or for being more suitable for a broader audience, maybe. But I really I don't expect anybody to like what I'm doing. And so on the other side, I'm often surprised when people come and tell me they like it or something. And I'm like, really, you? I didn't expect that from you, that you would listen to, but it's nice.
That's really the thing when people come unexpectedly, because this is one of the first things that I learned is don't have any expectation.
Yeah.
This is what my parents told me. They were like, when my parents told me, especially when we moved to Germany, they were like, you don't know anyone and no one knows you. Don't have any expectation from no one. Not even your siblings, not even your parents. Just be there and be focused on yourself and do the things right. And this is what my parents told me. So for me, it was always like, it's always a overwhelming feeling when someone comes up to me and say, hey, I like your music. I'm like, wow, this is kind of too much feelings right now. I don't know what to do. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, for me, it's similar. I'm always surprised when people come, but I enjoy it. And yeah, it happened often enough that I know that I'm onto something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So it's yeah, it's good motivation.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, one question that I ask now is, what's your sign?
My sign.
Yeah,
You mean astrological?
yeah,
Or, yeah.
yeah.
Scorpio.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What's yours?
I'm an Aries.
Aries.
Yeah,
What's the characteristic of it?
of an Aries
Yeah.
is like they say that we are kind of stubborn to a certain
Oh,
point. Not
Scorpios as
with
well.
sorry.
Scorpios also.
Yeah, but
Or maybe just I am. And I think it's a Scorpio trait. I'm not sure really.
that we go with the head through the wall sometimes, like when the emotions come up, like,
Yeah.
and that we are leaders, and that we are those who change the world and change the things around us, and very energetic, romanticize a few things, and
Nice.
yeah, they are
Good
very
traits.
good. Yeah. So,
You
and I also
can't complain.
no, definitely not. And I also connected with a Chinese sign.
Uh-huh. Which?
Mine is rabbit.
Okay. I don't know mine.
It's the year that you were born, and according to that, there you have a sign. So, because I'm not that type of a guy who is like, to certain level, I would get stubborn about certain things when I feel like, no, this, if we go this way, these things will be good. And if someone comes along and say, no, it doesn't work out, so if they talk it down, I'm even more eager to do it then.
Yeah.
So this is the point where I get stubborn. And yeah, when someone pisses me off a lot. So we had that in the beginning. And yeah, other than that, I'm passionate about the things that I do.
Yeah.
Like, I go fully into it. And it's in complete engagement with the projects that I have. And it's like all my babies, I don't want to leave anything behind. And if I do, it's hard for my emotions to cope with it for a while. But I learn to let go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's good to have passion
definitely.
about
Yeah.
things. It's really important.
So I know a few Scorpios,
Yeah.
and I know they were like mostly introverted
Yeah.
and quiet and calm,
Yeah, probably.
but not the females. They are different now. But the
Okay.
males. So yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go with your sign thing, or is it something for you not to
I don't
pay
know too
attention
much
to?
about it actually. I know
Interesting.
just the saying that a Scorpio can sting,
Exactly.
and that's very true for me. I have this. I let people pretty close, but if there's still a line, and if someone crosses it, I'm not very fun, or I can be hurtful. But
Okay.
I think just when people really deserve it, or being a dick,
Yeah,
I'm a
then
very nice.
I can imagine that.
Nice person, and I would normally I appreciate everybody who approaches me, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to be very kind and fair to everybody. Yeah, so it's not to be taken the wrong way.
Nice. What does your real name mean? Does it have a meaning?
Daniel.
Yeah.
Only God can judge me.
Really?
It's a Hebrew name, and that's the meaning of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a few Daniels. I asked them. They were like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know it only because my parents gave me a card where there's this thing called, it's in German, it's Namenstag. It's the of your
Really?
name. It's called Namenspatron, name.
Like the name, the day of your name. Just like, I never had it, but I've
Christian,
heard it.
in Christian culture, I was raised Christian,
Yeah.
Catholic, and there is this. When they give you the name in church,
Yeah.
when they put the water on your head.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm missing this word now. And then they say, well, this is the this name has a relation to this saint from biblical stories and stuff.
Okay.
And on this date of the year is your, you can celebrate your name or something.
Ah,
But-
okay. Yeah, okay. I've heard it a lot of times in Germany that people have a day there where they celebrate their names. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very old tradition, and I think it's not very nobody
Common
does it anymore.
Okay.
But for when I was younger, we did it,
Okay.
and I got small things from my grandparents and from my parents,
Nice.
and then they gave me this card where it's like Daniel, Hebrew name, and then was like stuff what it's about, but I know the phrase Gott ist mein Richter, like only God is my judge, only God can judge me. I
Wow.
would say it's
Nice.
so that's why I know it, because I had this card. It was in my
Room.
my room. It's some of my cupboards, no, like closets. It was just sitting there all the time. So it's,
Now it's burned into your mind. Nice.
yeah.
Interesting to know.
What does your name mean?
It's evolution.
Evolution.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like now I said it a few times now on the podcast, but for me, I believe that the name that we are given is going to be a part of our characteristics. Like,
Yeah, it is. I think.
yeah, it's going to mirror something in there.
Yeah.
So I'm always
There is
interested
something
in,
to it.
yeah,
Like astrological signs. It's weird, but there is.
something to it.
You cannot say you have these traits, but often you have some of them.
Definitely.
And yeah, I
And
don't
that's
know
why I believe that I'm so interested in the stories of others.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to write my lyrics also with their deeper meaning. Of course, like every other artist, not all of the lyrics are full of deep meanings, but most of them are, because I like to tell a story, or say something that has happened, something very is going to be very emotionally, like deeply connected. So I believe that's why my name is connected to the way I perceive the things.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's how I connect everything together. For me, everything is about some connection.
Yeah, for me too. I think that's an artistic trait to
Definitely, yeah.
to see like parallel phenomena like in different places, but they are somehow connected.
Yeah.
And that's why I also like, when I write, I do this as well, like using metaphors. I love it. I'm talking about something that visually is some sort of story, but I'm actually talking about something else, which is just portrayed in this imaginary way, in that image I chose there.
Yeah.
And I also love this about other artists that don't just say, this happened to me and now I'm feeling bad. So they put it in a story or in some form of, you have to think about it a little, or you can interpret it in different ways. I think that's something I really enjoy in the art of others, when they are using metaphors and stuff.
Definitely. So, any new projects that you said about an album? Like, any last words about that? What is going to be the album about?
I don't know yet. I just
don't
started
know.
writing it.
Ah, okay. I thought you half through it or so.
No, I released an album a few weeks ago.
This
and
one
now
I got,
I'm on
yeah.
the second song, which will be, maybe when this interview comes out,
Yeah.
like in 2 months, maybe these songs are already out and I'm already at song
This could
number
be. So
5 or
what-
something.
What can people expect now from
But
you?
what they always can expect, I will keep putting out music,
Yeah.
and I always write what is important to me at the moment, what inspires me at the moment. And yeah, that's my outlet. That's what I love to do, and I will keep on doing it. And I never have a concept of some sort. But in the end, afterwards, when the album is done or all the songs that I put together, there's always some sort of
Concept
theme
and-
going
yeah,
through
yeah.
there. It's I don't know why. It's something subconsciously going on there, or there's always a certain vibe in that album. It's nothing too conscious. It's very just happens to be like that.
Nice.
And so I'm getting surprised myself
Nice.
often.
That's
So
nice.
we will all be surprised what the new album will be
That's
like
great.
and about.
So unfortunately, we have to end it here. I could go on for hours.
Yeah, it
Getting
was
to
really
know,
nice
right?
talking. Good topics, and I enjoyed it very much.
Me too. I enjoyed it. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We do this always at the end. Nice. That was a nice clap. So, and we will link everything that you have down here, and you can check out his music, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all the platforms, right?
Yeah, Instagram as well.
Definitely. So we're gonna link
YouTube,
everything down.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, we are on
Go.
YouTube actually, no?
Push YouTube, people.
Yeah, subscribe this channel and subscribe to mine as well.
Exactly.
You know it.
So, yeah, see you on the next one. Thank you.
Peace.